You so much for tuning into the live. This is 20 Questions with Jay, and I'm here with the source. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing, Jay?
I'm doing good. Are you ready for these 20 questions?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Okay. So, the first question that I have for you here is what made you want to start YouTube?
I've always wanted to be on YouTube. I like video a lot. I like to be able to connect with a global audience. I'm a big social media guy. I love connecting with people all around the world and building our public influencer kind of, building ourself up and also creating businesses too. So just always really wanted to do it, and it never really worked out until like August when I saw DoDash and I really saw something that I realized people are coming on here and connecting with each other and supporting each other, and we're building together. And that's really the big thing is seeing that, and that she was having success monetarily, especially. It just motivated me a lot, and yeah, I think that's a pretty good answer.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I feel like a lot of people got on here for some of the same reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the second question that I have for you here is you posted a video 9 years ago and you titled it The Visions Project. What is your highest vision of the future? The video prior to that was actually your first video, which in that video, you recorded someone doing the so called vision project, which you stated in your second video was supposed to be stating your name, your organization, your websites, and your various involvements in what's your highest vision of the future. It became clear to me in that moment that you really do like to help people to gain exposure. And and it still like shows till this day, especially what you're doing, like your new thing you're doing with 5 questions with the source, things like that. So my question to you here is did you ever have a moment in your life where you felt like you like neglected yourself at one point in time to put others first?
It's a good question. Good question. Well, I would say a big part of my life has been when I had my own business. It was a transportation business in Kent, Ohio, around Kent State University and the surrounding areas. And really, what happened with that is I created a business where I bought a van, a 12 passenger van, and I put a phone number up and I promoted all around the area, the college and the communities. And basically, long story short, is I got calls. I started driving people around. It grew, and then there was all different types of transportation started happening. I just took every opportunity, and I just did every all day, every day, 7 days a week. I was helping people get to work and to class and to parties and bars and to and from airports and bus stations and train stations, you name it. So every type of transport, even picked up groceries and picked up prescriptions and such, just everything people needed. But there's like 20,000 students there. There's there's a lot of people in that greater area, so I provided rides and picked things up for people. I ended up doing that for 8 years, and I put all those people first, and I gave them all rides. And then as it grew, I became a dispatcher, and I had multiple vans. I had to put all those drivers and workers first, and all those customers first. And it grew and grew for eight years. So definitely, I definitely took on a lot and helped everybody over those years. And yeah, ultimately, it just didn't leave much for myself. So I guess that would be that.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
definitely feel that. I feel like I'm I'm kind of the same way in a way. So I feel you on that. And it's so exciting that you was able to like really travel and do so many different things. I think that was really dope.
Yeah.
So my next question I have for you here kind of like takes off of what you were speaking on because that kind of ran into a question. So I want to just go ahead and speak on that. You made a video that you titled Day 9, How the Heck Did I Get to Maui? And in that video, you did talk about how you created the transportation business when you had got out of college, and that was something that you had did where you was pretty much doing everything that you had just stated.
Yep.
Also, in that video, you did explain how you were getting out of your van because you was going over to a customer, and when you
Yep.
came back to your van, you had got hit by a vehicle.
Yep.
How did you manage to still stay so like positive during such hard times?
Sure, sure. Well, so when I was hit by a car, and I went up over the windshield and spinning down into the ground and all that, and I was knocked out cold, so I didn't feel any pain through that experience. Um, I just woke up. I was like conscious a little bit in the ambulance. I can tell I was going, and I knew it was a little bit of a distance, so I knew I was going to like a city hospital. In the 30 minutes away. Um, and then I just woke up in the hospital bed and I opened my eyes and I just see like my dad, my mom, my brother. Um, and so, um, yeah, so emotional. Um,
I know, right?
I know. So yeah, I was just, and then being in the hospital bed, and I had like a neck brace around my neck and they
I
took it
saw the
off.
pictures.
Saw.
Yeah.
They took it off in that moment, and I was just like it was like Wizard of Oz. You're just looking around, you're like, "You were there, and you were there, and you were there,"
Yeah.
and then, like, the doctors told me what was going on and everything, and, told me my leg was broken and, my jaw was
Yeah.
out of alignment and all that, and I don't know, just to me, I just felt so much rest and relaxation and just comfort being in that bed and having, friends, family showing up and then just like being fed the meals. And I,
Mhm.
was I, within a day or so, I was able to get up and start walking with the crutches around the hospital and I just got on the internet right away as soon as I could, lay in that bed and just went on my Facebook. And I saw like everybody's love and prayers and appreciation for me and support. And so I got in there, let everyone know I was okay and everything was is divine, and and that I'm in the arms of angels, and I feel nothing
Mhm.
but love and light, and feel really supported in this whole journey. And it just took like maybe 3 or 4 days in the hospital. I had a couple surgeries for my leg and for my jaw, and
Yes.
and then I was out of there and back to the business. I mean, I rested for a month.
Mhm.
Um, and I had fluids to drink and smoothies and soups and all that,
Yeah.
and I just did physical therapy for the month, and but then I went into work and just my all my workers were there and they just surrounded me and they were just so supportive and they all stepped it up and
Mhm.
I was able to just like let it go for that month, and so I
Yeah.
think that's a huge part of it is letting go, being supported, and then letting it all go and trusting. So positivity to me, I already had it. Like I already had a spiritual awakening before that. So I was already in love and light and bliss and paradise and just living in that consciousness. So I was just ready for more of a surrender. So
Yeah, that's so amazing. I'm so happy that you was able to have so many like supporting people that was around you in such hard times. So that's
yep,
really great to hear. Not a lot of
thank you.
people are able to really have like a backbone of people to help them when, especially when you have like a business going on. They was able to really help you to keep that afloat while you were down. So
Yeah,
that's really dope of them.
yep, thank
hmm
you. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you guys, this is 20 Questions with Jay, and I'm here with the source. Please make sure to go and subscribe and check out his content, okay? So the
Like,
next question that I have for you here, it actually speaks on that same video, day 9. How the heck did I get to Maui? You spoke on how you did the tours for years, and you also spoke on how there was a girl. I don't know, I can't remember if you said that she was also doing the tour with you, but she was the one that had asked you about citizenship because she wanted to continue to see the sun. And
yeah.
you told her something about her having to probably go to Maui and that'll probably be like the fastest way or whatnot. You didn't really say anything outside of that about Maui, but that was the first time that I heard you say something about it. And you also stated that you had ended up moving there in 2018. So,
Yep.
what exactly made you move to Hawaii?
Sure, sure. So first, the my user for those people looking for my username and all that is the source 479 is the user handle. Definitely, thank you so much for supporting and checking me out. So the story of coming to Maui and the story of the citizenship for her. So it was really interesting. A group of us were in Oregon, the state Oregon. Oregon. I don't know, and we were all on the land in a community, Triangle Lake, Oregon, and we were there for a few months, maybe a handful of months, and working on a change the world project and currency, and all that, and really really cool experience. And there was just a point where like this woman that you speak of, she was like she was in fear of not being able to see her son because she had citizenship elsewhere and he had American citizenship, and there was this this possibility where she wouldn't be able to see her son. So it shifted her attention from the project we were working on to her situation. And then she was such a mothering figure to all of us that she brought all of our attention to this possibility. And so we were all trying to help her out, and one of the guys in our group was just he was in Maui actually, in Hawaii, overall, recently before that. So he said, "Hey, go to Kauai, the island of Kauai, and there's a sovereign nation group in Kauai, and you just meet him in town, and you can get your sovereign citizenship, you can get your driver's license, you can get your all the things, passports to travel, all those things." So I mean, us being these spiritual tribe, kind of people, we're all just like, "Oh, well, that's us. That's for
Right.
us. We're like that's probably an indigenous nation over there, but we're this part. We're a piece of it globally. We're a piece of this global nation of people that aligns with indigenous groups and such. So maybe we'll just all go there." And but then it was like, "Hey, where do we stay if we all go there next and we all live there and work on our projects? Where are we going to stay?" And there was no answer to where we would stay. So he said, "Well, I lived in Maui and I've got this community in Maui where they have guests like people like us come and live in community and work on the land and that sort of thing. Like it's called work trading, so you don't have to pay rent. You just live on the land and put in your
Oh,
hours." And
wow.
I know. So yeah, it tends to be around 15 to 20 hours a week on average. And um, there's thousands of these communities around the world that have work trade potentials. So I can talk more about that too if you want. But
Mhm.
he connected us to this community in Maui, and one of our guys just literally connected with them, flew over, and just started working on the land. And within that month of him working on the land, it was like time for me to make a move too. Things happened, I can share more about that. Like literally there
Mhm.
was fires. I went down to visit my partner in Ojai, California, and there was fires coming into the town of Ojai. So I literally helped her and her friend. We jumped in their car and we drove out of town. There was one road out of town, so we drove out of town, avoiding the fires, and then we ended up going up the coast to get away, and then we came back down to Ojai. but it was too smoky. It wasn't livable, and we weren't able to stay. So we went back up, my partner and I, on a trip up the coast just to raise awareness for people that were affected by the fires, just to try to say, hey, this has happened down there. Any way you can support them, contribute, however. So we went up the coast for a little while, and then that came to an end. So there was like a point where I was like, all right, I've done California, I've done Oregon, I've gone up and down the coast for a couple of years. I don't have any place to be really, and I had talked to people, and I've connected with people that had been to Hawaii already, that were much more dialed in, like more professionally, like change makers, but more professional in how they were operating. So I thought that's probably my next level. If I can get to Hawaii, then I can get to the next level of maturity within my, who I am becoming. So then when one of our guys was at that community in Maui, he'd been there almost a month. I made the call, and they said they had no spaces open, but I literally just hopped on a plane and just flew over and went straight to they picked me up, and I went straight to the community, and I just connected with everybody in the community really well. And they said, well, we love to have you here. And,
Mhm.
my friend, he went ahead and said, all right, I'm going to go ahead and move on now. So you go ahead and take my spot. So
Oh,
I
that's
literally
nice.
he loves to move like that. Like, he's actually got a channel on here. His name's Keegan, and he's got a channel, Law of the Earth. I've started to promote him a little bit. So he moved on to, there was a fun like experience happening, and he likes to move from one to the next and keep doing these fun experiences. So he just held space for me. I come in, I just grounded in for 6 months and did the work on the land, and just got grounded into Maui really well. And it was a perfect um what's the word, perfect um uh synchronicity, yeah, but like an internship, almost like an onboarding experience for me to ground into the island and make all the right connections and everything. It was really a good start for me.
Yeah. It seemed like everything kind of just flowed like it was meant to be. So that's
Yeah.
what's up. Mm-hmm. Okay. I do kind of want to hear a bit more of the work trade that you were speaking on. So you say that that is in a lot of different places. Is it also like here in the US, or is it more so like out in different countries?
There's tons of them in the US. So I always say there's three major websites to there's more, but I mapped all this out years ago now. It was like, cuz I've been in Maui this is my 8th year now in Maui. I've been working local produce. I've been grounded in here and really, networked in. Everything's pretty solid. So I haven't been in that like change maker, light worker, traveling, free spirited, living in vans and cars, and sort of like just serving communities wherever I can. I haven't been in that life for like 8 years now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I used to talk about this a lot. Like, I would say there's three major websites. If you wish to, retire in a sense, whatever age you are, you can do that. There's three
Mm-hmm.
major websites that map out these thousands of communities that are available if you want to work trade. Um, and every community is a little bit different in how many hours you put in, and what their living arrangements are like, and all the different amenities that go along with it, and how you show up. They want to interview and select people that are a good fit for what they're doing.
Right.
So
Yeah.
those three websites are Fellowship for Intentional Communities, or Fellowship of Intentional Communities, Global Eco Village Network, and New Mundo, which is spelled Numondo. So those map out all those communities, but there's also, like, you could just look up the word work trade, um, and there's also other words for this sort of thing. And just dive in if this is something you're interested in, and you just need to get away from life, or you just don't want to work, for a while, and being caught up in the money world for a while. If you feel like you're a high vibe tribe, like, you don't have to be like Mr. Mrs. Spiritual or anything like that. You can
Right.
be a normal person and be looking for an experience. But you just go on these websites and you maybe set up a profile, and then you just scan through or search all the different communities, and you find what you're looking for, and you reach out to the ones you're interested in, and then there's a process to get accepted, and then you just make the leap. You either get in a car and drive off, or
Mhm.
you fly somewhere, or whatever it is. And like, I see the world in which the thousands of communities are available, plus there's a lot of festivals and events and things happening all over the world as well, if you're in this kind of a mindset. So you can kind of go live in one community, stay for a while, put in your work, and then while you're there, you kind of line up your next one. And then if there's
Mhm.
festivals or events on the calendar, you can kind of transport to those and do the festival, and then you make connections and get rides to the next event or community, and you could just live the rest of your life like this because it's all set up. So it's kind of just like, whoa, okay, this is interesting.
Right.
So yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that is so dope. I actually never knew something like that actually like existed. So that's interesting to find out about. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And
Hey guys, thank you so much. Uh-huh.
you might have a couple like co-op houses in Atlanta, where
Mm.
they basically live as a cooperative, and you could either work trade or pay partial rent or full rent, and you can live in a conscious community like that. And then they might be listed on these websites as well, some of these co-op houses, and
Hmm.
eco village can be in apartments, a floor of a apartment building, or it could be in a house, or it could be in a high rise build. There's all sorts of ways that eco village can show up in the world. So
Mm. Yeah, that is so dope. I think that's really cool that they have something like that. Yeah.
sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But hey, you guys, thank you so much for tuning into the live. This is 20 Questions with Jay, and I'm here with the source. Please make sure to go and check out his page and subscribe, okay? So
Thank you.
the next question that I have for you here, you spoke on when you was doing like trades and stuff like that, and I actually wanted to get into that because you made a video on your page that's called Crypto Success So Far, where you spoke on how it was on like your journey doing crypto pretty much, you know. So you spoke on that you started with $100, then you ended up adding another 100 that brought it up to 200, and 3 months later you was able to turn that into 3,000. Then you
Yep.
pretty much broke down how you like separated all of them and did your like various things with them. Would you ever teach crypto in the future for people that are interested in it?
Right, right. Okay, so I want to tell that story a little bit. So, I was living in the community in Oregon, the Triangle Lake up there, and we were putting in a lot of hours. We were really helping that community. It was a conference center, a hotel, kind of hotel conference center kind of place, and we were helping fix it up and everything while we lived there. But we were also working on our Change the World mission simultaneously. But there was a point where the leaders of our group were figuring out how they could pay us also, because we were putting in our hours, but there was also, I don't remember why, but we were also going to get paid as well. So for some of the work we were doing, and the leader, he literally was like, all right, everybody, your paychecks are ready. It's in Bitcoin, and here you go to this link, and just,
Wow.
yeah, it was just like that. And because they had like our community, our micro nation we were creating or whatnot, um, had acquired a lot of cryptocurrency. Um, Part of getting into this group, and becoming part of the micronation, was investing in. So some people brought money into the fold, and then for exchange for the money you put in, you get some of the currency of our collective, of our nation. And then some of the people that put in Bitcoin and Ethereum and these different currencies, as well, a lot of the people, these conscious individuals, were wealthier in cryptocurrency than they were in cash money.
Mhm.
So there was this pool of people that have gotten a little bit wealthy from Bitcoin and Ethereum and the and cryptocurrencies. That it was pretty early on. It was a couple of years in, I think, or maybe five. I don't know how many years in with Bitcoin, but so, um, yeah, so and some people put land into our collective, our nation, to get some of our currency, like access to their land. So you would say like, I have a house in Atlanta, and I'll give access to our cottage in the back yard for people in this group to come rent and stay in the cottage. So how much currency do I get for making that available for renting throughout the year? And then we would distribute out currency for the access to your cottage to be able to put some of our people could travel around and stay in Atlanta in your cottage. If you're a part of the group, it's we that's the way we're thinking. Um so long story short, yeah, we got paid in Bitcoin, and it was like $100 or something. And then our group, we literally had no cars. We had like nothing. We're living on the land, and we got access to a car in our community there. And we get in the car. We pull in like three or four of us in a small little car, and it's all broken hoopty car, and we're all in there like
Mhm.
jammed in, and um, and we drive to town, which was like Eugene, Oregon, the city, and we go to a Bitcoin ATM, which they're all over in all cities now. And we just put our little slip in there, and or whatever, however it worked, and it just said, "Okay, your account is created," and it printed out a thing. This is your barcode for your wallet, and it has your $100 on it. But then each one of us was like, maybe I'll invest a little bit. And this is our chance. You put money in the machine, it adds it to your $100. So I think that's where I might have made it to $200 right there,
Mhm.
and it printed out $200 on my wallet on my barcode, and then I just kept it in my wallet, and just we kept going on with our work trade and living there, um, and then Bitcoin started going up a little bit. There was a point where it spiked up to $20,000.
Mhm.
It was like $3,000 when I got in there, and then it spiked up to 20,000 for a day, but then came back down into like the 15,000 level or something. So that's the spike that brought me up into that first level that you spoke of. And then there was a point where I had time to like diversify a little bit. So I took some of that earnings of the Bitcoin, I sold it and moved it into just a whole bunch of currencies.
Mhm.
And but I put like $5 in each one, kind of sort of thing. So I always dream that most of them, a lot of them will go up. Like I just figured, like okay, like when the dot-com bubble happened back in when the internet was created, you just like
Mhm.
spread your money across all these internet companies. You would have been wealthy if you did that.
Right.
I wasn't able to do that, but this one was happening. So I just spread it across all these different currencies, like $5 or $10, whatever the minimum was, and all of them. And I don't know. I just had to keep work trading on the land, and I wasn't able to pay much attention to it. But I don't think much happened with all of those. But I still had Bitcoin, and
Mhm.
I ended up when I had time again, when I got my own place and all that, I ended up getting buying more Bitcoin, and it went up more. And it's gone up to like over $100,000 worth of coin now. So I bought and sold for a while, so I made a little bit on like the daily moves and such, and then I just stuck with it around $10,000 or so, and then it went up. So like I'm not like wealthy or anything, but it's nice to have a little something.
Mhm.
Cash dollars in your pocket don't do that for us.
Yeah.
Dollars in your pocket actually go the opposite direction, and the
Mhm.
inflation takes the money out of our pockets. So
Right.
it's been nice to have that as like a backup plan if we ever want to get a house here, which maybe soon, and get on the land and do our bigger vision, for this
Mhm.
life. It opens up a lot of doors. But as for teaching crypto, I thought about it a lot back then. like 8 8 years ago.
Mhm.
And I did help a few people here and there, but I never really mastered it so much. There's other people that do that and that have that ability. I'm no master at it. There's if you really want to do it smart, you buy these USB drives. I think. I mean, that's what some people say. You buy these USB drives, and they're really secure, supposedly, and you maybe even put them in your vault, like at your bank or something. But like, you got to figure out if that's even safe. Dangerous
Right.
banks failure. So long story short, yeah, there's a lot to learn, but if you just start diving in and you meet the right people, they'll teach you things, and then you just try to get some exposure to Bitcoin or Ethereum or some of the cryptocurrency. There's a lot of like smaller coins that also have gone way up over the years, and I wish I
Yeah.
had the time, energy, and focus to, because I would have been a millionaire if I got into all those other ones. Like, I know people that have done stuff like that, and they're probably a millionaire at this point. So it's just, I don't know.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that really is a good thing to do, like invest into Bitcoin, especially when it first came out. Because I remember
Yeah.
when Cash App first came out and Bitcoin was really big on that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easier. It's a lot easier on Cash App. If you just
Yeah.
want to get in, just download Cash App and
Mm-hmm.
just get something. Get a not a full Bitcoin, but get like a piece of one. And then there's ways to keep adding into it. You can, every time you use your credit card with Cash App, it could put the change right into your Bitcoin every time. Or you can get your paycheck
Mm-hmm.
deposited in. But I don't know, because it's over $100,000, and that could be big and scary for people. But
Right.
maybe it'll go to a million. But I don't know. It could go to zero. That's kind of the thing. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the next question that I have for you here is, what's the meaning behind the dance that you do?
so the it started out as the Hope Crew Happy Dance. So basically, when I found Dodash, and then I super networked over there, and then I made connections with all these Hope Crew people, and was really building it up. And um, I think that's around the time when I don't even know if I had met Nemo yet at that point, because it was maybe the first month of me really starting to build it up. And and uh, I had connected with Follow Your Bliss Life. Follow Your Bliss Life, which is, her name is AJ. She's the one that does line dancing and goes to Vegas and teaches and learns line dances, and it's a whole community of line dancers. It seems like they travel around and do events and such. So AJ, it looks like what happened is there was this new Hope Crew guy named Dash of Faith. uh,
Mm-hmm.
Dash of Faith was like starting to get really big. Like within days, 5 days maybe, he went from zero
Mm-hmm.
subscribers to 1,000 subscribers, and it just made a big thing. And everybody in the Hope
Yeah.
Crew was all like, "Whoa, what's going on? Dash of Faith is
Mm-hmm.
guys." And I kind of saw at that moment, I'm like, I think that this is how this is going to work. Like, Dodash went from, she says it was 500 subscribers, but into the couple thousand, and then I saw her go up from there maybe to 30,000, and I think she's way ahead of that now. But and So Dash of Faith was like, oh, maybe he's the next one, and and then I saw other people rising into the 1,000 subscribers like in a couple days, handful of days. So I was
Mm-hmm.
networking, and then I guess he had said something about, "Hey, we're like a Hope Crew," and like he just said it, and people just took that and ran with it. And then also,
Yeah.
so that helped me to find people, because I was able to type that in and Dash and Hope Crew, and I
Mm-hmm.
was able to find everybody. And then with Follow Your Bliss Life with AJ, she created this video that said, like, let's do a happy dance and let's do a movement. And I caught that video. I might have seen Start Here Tajmir's video. I don't know if I saw her dance first, or AJ, Follow Your Bliss Life. But between those two and their happy dances, and I just got it. It clicked in my mind. I'm like, I can do that. I love to do these silly dances. I've been doing these
Yeah.
dances for probably since, probably since I was in Ojai, California in 2013 or so. So 12 years ago, I was free. I was free. I didn't have my business. I had crossed the country from Ohio to California, and I had let go of everything. So I was free, and I was grounded in this town, Ojai, this small town, and this really like cute little town that is like had a vibe to it, conscious vibe, spiritual vibe. And I just, when I would go out at night in the bars and the music scene and everything, um, I would just dance around and other people were dancing, and it was like my first mature life, kind of like living on my own, like setting up like that, because I didn't have the business to worry about. I wasn't in a college town with a college apartment or anything like that. So I was out on my own in this cute town, small town, and I'm just at music at the bar, like dancing, just being free and having a good time. And since then, I'll dance like that at festivals and events, and now it's that's the life is I just try to weave my dances into as many videos as I can wherever I can. And I'll dance around the apartment here when I'm vibing, I guess, like just wherever there's conscious dance events here in Maui. A lot of tribe come together and dance. Ecstatic dance is what they call them. And so, that's where I can just like let loose, and I just kind of let my body just sway in every direction. And it's like maybe some tribal thing to it. And So the happy dance came from AJ, Follow Your Bliss Life. I guess that Dash of Faith guy like somehow inspired that. And then his channel disappeared, and he came back once, but he hasn't come back since. So we don't know what that's all
Yeah,
about.
I remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember when that whole thing happened because I was literally like, I had made that video about it. It wasn't necessarily about it, but I spoke about it in that video where I spoke on, did your subscribers go down? And then I said, who is Dash of Faith? Because at the time, that was literally my ninth video, and I had never seen a video about him before. So
Right.
when I went to search for him to see like who this guy is, because I'm just seeing his name all over the place, that's when I found out that his page was gone. So I never got to see him. I just
Mm.
heard of him, you know?
Yeah.
So, and then I did hear about how they said, oh, he's back. And then all of a sudden he was gone again. So
Yep.
those glasses are so funny.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I got my bag of tricks. Got my bag of tricks here. So,
All right. So the next question that I have for you here is, what would you tell someone that wants to get on YouTube but doesn't have a niche?
Sure. Okay. So, someone that just wants to get on YouTube but doesn't have a
Mhm. Right.
niche.
I know, right? Yeah,
So many
like
say words in the English language, and even words in the English language, the same word means multiple different things. It's super confusing. So, all right. Thank you so much. Oso. All right. So, someone that wants to get on YouTube that doesn't have a niche, I am 100% a believer in the niche is you.
Mhm.
100, 1000%, 1,000,000%. The niche is you. And what that means to me is to just be yourself, share what you feel comfortable sharing with the greater community. And the diversity of who you are will come through as you kind of let your blocks and your limitations kind of fall off. You will find certain things that you're comfortable talking about. You'll find certain things you're comfortable doing. And every day is a new day and an opportunity to see what other people are doing, and you learn from them, and then you try different things. I love challenges. I love the happy dance challenge and the
Mhm.
poetry challenges that I've been doing, the haiku, and any challenge I can get that I feel like I can challenge myself and I can do and encourage others to do it. It creates ripples. If it takes off, it creates ripples. Like what if like a year from now the happy dance challenge takes off, like truly, and we have millions of people doing
Right.
dances all around the world. Just We planted the seed, right? What does Nemo say? Do you plant the seeds, right? Laying the foundation. You lay the foundation, you plant the seeds, they grow, we're all together a tree that's growing,
Mhm.
and it's growing and growing and growing. So we're in the early stages. So just the niche is you. Just get started. Post a video. Just simple. It
Mhm.
doesn't even matter what it is. Just literally hit the record button, hit the stop button, and hit the upload button, and hit save, and it's done. Make it public, and then that's up there. Come into live streams or any of our videos and just say hi and connect with all of us, thousands of us that are all united.
Mhm.
Hope Crew, stay phenomenal. Keep posting. These are movements. Hope Crew, stay phenomenal. Keep posting.
Right.
Um, name it. Once I start, I can't stop. I gotta say a few more. Hope Crew, stay phenomenal. Keep posting. Faith Team, Shine Family, um, Thrive in 25, Thrive Tribe. Can you
Mhm.
want to name any more? Because I don't know them all. You probably know a few more
I don't know
movements.
them all either. I
Yeah.
really, really don't.
But once you get into the
Yeah.
collective, into the family, and you go into all our lives and the videos, and you say hi and you make connections with everybody, they're going to come back to your channel. They're subscribe to you. They're going to watch your one
Mhm.
video. Next thing you know, you're up to 50 subscribers. You're going
Mhm.
live, and then live is where you really can amplify what you're doing to get the watch
Mhm.
hours.
Yeah.
Um, that takes off. Just keep trying things. Keep sharing videos. Maybe you'll find an editor, like I have a free download an editor, video editor, free trial or something. That's what I have. Power Editor is what I use, and just make videos nice, learn how to do editing, upload some of those videos, do short videos, do
Mhm.
long videos, try a live stream, um, just keep going, and it'll keep growing, and you'll be at 500 subscribers, and then 1,000, and you'll be monetized probably within a year, or maybe more, if you keep learning and growing, and if it really clicks. And that's the advice. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I definitely agree with what you said there.
Mhm.
So the
Uh,
next
wait,
question that I have
hold
for
on,
you here is
hold on. Hold on. Have you said child yet?
you are funny. You are so funny. I usually I say it so organically,
Yeah.
and I feel like I say it more so when I'm like really into like what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Oh, shoot, I'm
But
so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
You're
funny.
so funny.
I
But
know.
yeah. All right. So the next question that I have for you here is, are there any goals on YouTube that you have for 2025?
Good question. Goals for YouTube for me for 2025 for the source. So try to keep it simple and grounded, which is, to just keep showing up each day, keep learning and growing and making more connections. Um, on a simple level. There's lots of ways you can grow, learn how to do better videos or edit better, or upgrade technology, and such. Um, Lots of ways to grow and learn and get better. So simple goals would be just to keep committed to the grind, and learning and growing, and making connections, and that's on the simple level. On the bigger level, I would say that in 2025, we got almost a full year still, 11 months. Um, so I would say I have a goal because I'm at 640 subscribers. Definitely 1,000 subscribers. I think when it takes off, like I want to keep it open to I don't remember I think I said 100,000 subscribers within the
Mhm.
like by the end of the year, and then 1 million by the end of the next year. Just because I've
Yeah.
seen Dante London and DoorDash
Oh
and
yeah,
so
it can
many other.
happen. It can
There's some that
happen.
have millions of subscribers, that are just normal people too. So it's like,
Mhm.
I just want to open up possibilities for the impact we can make in the world. And I think the best way is to just open up these sorts of channels. And I want to continue to roll out projects. It's good. I've got the 5 questions with the source going, the interview show, and great job on. You were a wonderful guest on 5 questions. And that's cool. And but I've got, like you said, the vision project is a cool blueprint. And there's one global village is like a vision of the world in which these small villages, these eco villages and communities, all are connected around the world, and it becomes a nation that offers an alternative for humanity to move into these villages and the festivals and gain the consciousness and spiritually go through transformations and become the new human beings, which we were always originally these human divine beings. I think that's where we're headed as a consciousness and as a human race. It just starts to pop off more and more as more people wake up and we all connect our energy fields. And so, long story short, in 2025, I want to roll out like TV network. I've got some ideas that have been coming in. I've been planning and visualizing all this stuff for since my awakening in late 2011, early 2012 mostly 2012. Um, I've been basically mapping out and downloading all these ideas and blueprints for projects to bring in a better world. And like, I'm starting to see that this is being called in right now, this TV network. And I think we're all going to have TV networks ourselves. We're all going to have
Mm.
channels within each other's TV network. So I'll be on the Kiss from Jay network hopefully, and the Boogie Time network, and the Anthony My Time network, and the Nemo, whatever he wants to call it, network, and the Sharita Jones, whatever, like everybody will
Mhm.
have their own network, but each one of us will be a channel in each other's network. So I'm going to start mapping that out and I've got a website up so I can just turn that into the TV with the channels, and then I can have a calendar schedule. So like currently, like all of our live streams we've
Mhm.
overlapped a little bit. Like who's saying that? I think it's Mind Games keeps saying we're overlapping a little bit with live streams. Like we're recording at the same time. So I'm gonna create the opportunity for us to see it visually, so we can schedule in a little bit, and then that'll be that first like television kind of channels and stations and all that, um and the calendar so you can like see it all, and then we can just all go into this show 20 questions, and then you can all go into 5 questions with the source, and we can all go into
Yeah.
each person's live stream, whether it's Luciana or whether it's Trishana or whoever. We can schedule those in, and we can tune in when we want to whoever we want to, and we can then have hundreds or thousands of people tune in each time one of us puts on a show. So I just want to start getting that out there, and I know others of us will probably jump on this and do the same thing. And but that's what it's about. If we each can have a TV network and a schedule per se, and then I don't know how it's going to become like a TV, but like that's not for us to figure out right now. It's just try to get us to not overlap, and then our attention to focus in on to one at a time as much as we can, so we can each get monetized in a day or a week or a month or whatever it takes to, we can start to each get monetized, and then we can kind of promote what's the best content, who's really offering such a unique piece of content or type of show or whatever, and we can start to create like a themes to it all, and make it fun for people to tune in to the different
Yeah.
because it becomes shows. We each should just keep getting better because we
Mhm.
each could be our own TV show with programming and all that sort of stuff. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely nice. Thank you guys so much for being here in the live. This is 20 Questions with Jay, and I am here with the source. Please make sure to go and subscribe and check out his content, okay? So, the next question that I have for you here is: would you ever move back to the United States? Why or why not?
But real quick, someone in the comments, uh, this website that I just spoke of, it's not set up yet, so nothing that I want you to look at yet. But um, once because I've got the whole like change the world. It's set up for what I did previously, which is to unite all the change the world groups um, to bring forth paradise on earth. But that was such a big picture that all those groups are still working on it individually, but I put it out there as the big vision and blueprint for all those groups to unite so that it would happen faster. But that's kind of who I am. So I want to just it to happen. So I now can take that down, a lot of that down, and put up our TV network and just become like a lot of them wanted me to just tune into one path, which the TV network was that path at that point. And then each group can do what they do, and I would fulfill that one role. So it, I ended up showing up to where I was headed, anyways, as I focused in more on myself and setting up the grounded life here. My partner showed up here, and we set up an awesome home base. And I've been able to really build up some means. So this next phase can really do maybe in this TV network, and the website. So I'll start to clear that out, and then I'll put this on there as I learn how to create something that's visually gonna accomplish what I just talked about. So just bear with. But as for the United States, it's kind of funny. It's interesting you say that because there is a little bit of energy around Hawaii. It is actually still a Hawaiian kingdom on some levels. So it's a state, quote unquote, as a part of the United States, but maybe not. There's some strange stuff with that, as we move into this sovereignty concept more and more. A lot of us are moving into that
Yeah.
concept. There's potential for different timelines going forward. But those of us that are here, a lot of us conscious beings came to Maui to be here now for a reason, and we're still guided to be here. And support. I found a way to be supportive. I work in local produce. Basically, we pack and we distribute local produce, fruits and vegetables, and herbs, and all the different healthy local produce from the farms on Maui and in Hawaii. We source that out to all across Maui and around Hawaii. So it's this really cool. It's the largest local produce food hub in all of Hawaii, and all these food hubs in Hawaii are all connected, and we are doing something really big already. Just imagine if that idea gets out to the world in a bigger way, and food hubs in every local area, and they all network together and you create food systems, and then we can shift beyond the current way of the grocery, and dependencies and the unhealthy stuff. Like we might be in a time
Mhm.
right we might be in a time right now that any day now it could be said by the current health department in the US could say, all right, all these unhealthy products, you have 2 years to eliminate toxins, chemicals from your products. And if you don't, you're out of
Mhm.
business and you won't be able to operate in the US. We can
Mhm.
hear that any day because this is consciousness we're creating right now. Two or more are gathered,
Mhm.
plus everybody in this room. So, at any moment, the current government, and a lot of countries already think this way, that um, no food, no toxic, no chemicals, no plastics, none of that crap can be in our foods. So a lot of countries already operate this way. USA is just whatever you want to call it. It's been a little bit of a dark time, and so at any moment that could roll out, and all of a sudden all the food companies are going to have to shift, but we're already ahead of the game. So more local produce, more farming. I think a lot of in America, some any day now could say that we're rebooting the agriculture economy in America, and industries, all industries. We're bringing home all the jobs from other countries, and
Mhm.
industries back to America, and people are going to get back to work, and there's going to be a lot more like focus on like growing food and healthy, become a healthy country, like this is like a
Mhm.
potential that we're in the spot right here where this could happen any day now. So I'm just like, I'm feeling it. It's coming through real smooth and clean. um so long story short, moving back to the mainland, like we call it the mainland here in Hawaii, because we got islands over here, all the Hawaiian islands, and we got the main.
Mhm.
um so not really on my radar at all. I'm tuned into the potential tracks of like living on the land and living in more rural areas where you grow your own food and you have animals and you become self-sustaining, and then you've got neighbors that also do the same thing, and you connect with all the neighbors, and then you share your wares and you share your produces and all the things, and you create community amongst the different rural land communities or households or whatnot. So there's always that potential, because there's land in America where it's like a couple $1,000s for a half acre or an acre or something like that.
Mhm.
And there's people doing this actually. I forget exactly. I can't say exactly where, but they're getting on the land. It's called Return to the Land is the name of their movement, and
Mm.
they're selling the different access to the different acres, and they're creating community amongst all the different acres of other people, that so they
Oh,
kind of
nice.
they vet the people, and you kind of go to the land, and there's an event and everybody connects, and then you get to learn about what they're doing. So they're in the sovereign kind of movement where they've learned how to create business entities, organizations. We've got LLCs and uh, S corporations and different forms of business entity and partnerships and such. And so they formed one that kind of veils them from some of the risks. I can't really explain it so well, but it's called Return to the Land, and it's at the foothills of one of the mountain chains in America. And it's taken off, and they've bought more land because they get a little bit of money from each investor that buys in, and then they could buy the next land, and it keeps growing from
Mhm.
there. So they're doing that. So I keep an eye on stuff like that. I keep an eye on like, okay, there's low cost West Virginia or a lot of rural states. You got very low cost land. So I mean, there's always that potential. I could spend $1 million if I ever get to that point here in Hawaii and get land. Or I could spend a couple $1,000s and get land and be connected with all those that are doing the same thing and on the same page. And there's always these possibilities. And I mean, there's the mainland USA, these sorts of tracks. Plus, there's places like Costa Rica and the Bali, and Mexico, and there's places
Mhm.
around the world where Americans and expats, ex former military Americans, have already moved to these sorts of places and gotten affordable land, or and live on the land, or whatever each person's doing. So there's always those tracks going forward. But I mean, we plan ahead, we try to visualize and make our next moves, but also sometimes the moves are made for us when spirit steps in, and you get certain guidance, and you try to follow those breadcrumbs, and you just go forward, and you just never know. So
Right. Okay. Yeah, that was amazing. Okay.
thank you.
So, the next question that I have for you here is, would you rather have the ability to teleport anywhere in the world, but you always arrive naked? Or would you rather teleport with your clothes on, but only go to places that you've been before?
So anywhere in the world but arrive naked, or places I've been before but show up with clothes on. Hmm. Where, like, is this a public space I land in? Do I get to decide where I
Yeah.
land? It's a public space, yeah.
No, it would have to be a public space.
Perhaps, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I've been to places already, I'm more of a like, I like to keep things interesting and new and exciting, and I don't like to necessarily be in the same place or do the same thing over and over again. So I'm glad I visited a good number of places. I've been all over Europe. I've been to Israel. I've been to Canada, USA. Um, been across America. I'm glad I've done all that, but I'm always going to want to keep posting though, keep growing. I want to keep expanding, and see more places and have more experiences. And travel is something down the line. I don't know how that's going to show up or if or when or how. So yeah, I'll just take one for the team and I'll just be proud and I'll just be like doing my happy dance and
You
sorry
are
for the
so
visualization.
funny.
Sorry for the visualization, everybody. Nah, I plus like we were born, we came into the world naked. I've actually like you go to like hot springs once you're a part of these conscious communities and such. A lot of people go to hot springs, and you think about, okay, should I take this risk? Should I do it naked? And everybody else, a lot of them do, and um, so I've done that a few times, so that helps to like lessen the worry about that. And um yeah, I did it even at a river, like, and you got the Christian Catholic, family over there, and you're just like hippie naked in the water, and it's like, hey, what are you doing over there? What are you doing over there? Hey, don't, you can't do that here. Our kids are here. What are you doing? What are you doing? And like, so that's interesting. So I'm in this world, but I'm not of this world necessarily. I want to just be
Mhm.
spirit and be free and be lively and shift. I want to shift things. So let's go. I'm going.
I
I'm going
know.
naked. I'm gonna pop into Australia. I'm gonna pop into. How about Bali? How about it? How about like Egypt and the pyramids? How about it? Why not? How about let's go to oh geez, let's go to Antarctica. Let's go
I
to
know.
oh my goodness gracious.
Ooh,
Oh,
child.
just got cold thinking about that.
Yeah.
All the places. There's a lot of cool places to visit and just never know. I wanna
Okay.
just keep it open. So yep. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the next question that I have for you here is, if you could collaborate in person with somebody that's on YouTube, who would you want it to be?
Collaborate in person with somebody on YouTube, like physically, like in person, collaborate. Oh man, it's tricky because it's like, do I go to the high road or do I stay right where we're
Right.
like, do I, what type of collaboration is this going to be? Um, and it's like, okay, am I just trying to get something accomplished? Um, Plus, it's like I can offer certain skill sets to a person, they can offer certain skill sets back. So, am I just getting access to their whole network? Like this, am I just using their whole network? You know what I mean? It's like there's
Hmm.
that, question. Like I thought about like people like Nemo, like because right where we're at, like I super appreciate everything he's done already and how he
Yeah.
operates. He's a hustler, he's a hard worker. I thought about
Hmm.
things like because when I see people in their challenges. I know everybody sees me and my challenges, and I see them and their challenges. And I think about like how can we overcome some of those challenges. I think about things like consolidating our efforts and such. So I'm gonna just run with the example just because I can't think of where to go with it. But like I think of, like people like Nemo who work full time at Walmart and that have even worked 2, 3 jobs at times, and they hustle, and he's got a home there with a mortgage, I'm sure, and he's got investments. He's got this YouTube channel taking off in a good way. Um, but there's still that line. When do you let go of the Walmart? When do you so I think about stuff like that, and then I look at my own reality and I look at like, okay, like at work, for example, like small business still where I work, and I'm thinking like, okay, like we're always looking for people that are good workers, and I'm like, do I say something like I don't know if he would be a fit with where I work or not, but like I just look at things. I'm like, I think of like, okay, put things together. If he were to work at a place like where I worked, and his family were to move to Hawaii or Maui or whatever, and let go of all the stuff that holds back. I don't know. It's probably not a possibility. They probably got a family life and everything and a whole world there. But I think about stuff like that. Like the more we come together, like on here, that's awesome. But if we were all like physically, we came together too, there's a whole another level of creating for different skill sets to each other's projects.
Mhm.
So where we're limited, others in our community can help with like the graphic design and the the website and the fun setting up like the merch stores. And there's different. Some of us are good at certain things, and we start to really show up as a corporation and a business. So I think some of that sort of stuff hits me when I watch his videos, and I'm like, imagine if he was a full-time worker where I work and I'm a full-time worker and we're both driving around doing deliveries, and
Mhm.
then he's got free time to do more of what he's not in a Walmart, in a caged Walmart. There, I find a lot of free time in. I'm driving around, but I get to check out everyone's live. I listen in all day when I'm driving and delivering. These sorts of things come to mind. But collaboration, like, is more to me like I don't know how I would collaborate. Like, but if we're physically together, if any of us in this community are physically meeting and we have like office space or something like that, imagine that.
Mhm.
We would come together and have meetings and we would accomplish things and make things better every day. So imagine if like the Source Network had corporate headquarters and we all were living in the general area and we were able to come together and we built out all the different parts of the business of the big corporation, this thing, this is all just coming through. I mean, that sort of concept, we just one meeting, two of us can come together and make things better for each of our channel. But if more of us were coming together, what if we had like an event where we all were to come together and we were to set the foundations like truly for our super organization that we all are? Um, there's so many possibilities going forward. So maybe it's not one person. Maybe it's at some point we will have that event and we will all get to physically know
Mhm.
each other and we'll celebrate each other
Yeah,
on
that would be so dope.
just picture you
Yeah.
got Chris Change, Guy Bandy up there. We'll have a lineup of music, of course. We
Mhm.
got musicians, we've got speakers. Certain people can present topics and help all of us to up level in each area of what we're doing in our life. And
Mhm.
just never know what's
Yeah.
possible. So I'll just stop there.
Yeah, I actually spoke on that before. Wanting to think on doing something and have it be like an annual thing where we all
Yeah.
come together as YouTubers and we go to like different places. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Each year around the same time. Like one year we meet up here, one year
Yep.
we meet up there, in
Yep.
different places and places that we're able to create content at. You know what I'm saying? And all be together and
Of
turn it
course.
into something. I had spoke on that before, and it was something that I kind of want to line up. I thought that would be really dope.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah.
All
Mhm.
all the people in our group that make really great meals too. Like you've got the people to make the meals, you've got the people to entertain us. You got the people. You got AJ leading the line dances at night in the evenings for us to dance together, and you got the meals throughout the day. And you've got like all, and then you've got all the topics. Each one of us is. This is like what we're doing is this is like TED Talk, what we're each doing. We're each doing our own TED Talk channel,
Mhm.
presenting topics on our channel. And so it can kind of populate the best presentations of each of us to a schedule. And then we got the meals and we've got the entertainment in the evenings. And it all populates out. So,
Yeah. Definitely. Thank you
yeah.
guys so much for being here in the live. This is 20 Questions with Jay, and I'm here with the source. Please make sure to go and subscribe and check out his content, okay?
Thanks.
So the next question that I have for you here is if you have you ever seen like anything out of the ordinary since you've been in Hawaii? Like something that really surprised you or made you like double look or anything like that?
Okay. So in Hawaii, have I seen anything that surprised me, out of the ordinary, anything that shocked me? So I've been mostly in Maui. This is my 8th year. I did make a trip over to Oahu, and I was there for maybe 3 days or 3 days or something. It was a hemp conference. As we were a group of us were working on a CBD company. Um, so I went over there for that conference. I didn't get to do as much as I'd like to do on Oahu, but I saw the landscape and everything, um, and but out of the ordinary in Hawaii. Let me think about that. I know that there was a group of locals that gathered uh, on top of one of the sacred mountains in Hawaii, sacred volcanoes even, and they were standing for um, basically they didn't want a whole nother telescope freaking NASA thing up on their sacred mountain volcano. So they were
Mm,
holding strong against that. And so they were up there a long time. And so, I mean, that was one thing that happened since I've been here. We've also had the Lahaina fires, not just Lahaina, Maui fires, Maui fires, Lahaina is the west side of Maui. And then you've got there was fires up in Kula, which is east up country kind of. So you got west and east fires simultaneous, and then there was also a fire in I think Kihei, which is south side of Maui. So three different parts of the island, sides and bottom fires at the same time. So I would say that was definitely a very crazy time.
goodness. Yeah.
Um, Not so, it's okay, yes, like God, everything God, all that, yes, but then it's also like, what are the odds? It was very windy. There's been some crazy winds, not just those times, but other times, not just here, but in mainland North Carolina. Crazy fires are happening all over
Mhm.
places around the world. Some weird stuff happening. Do your own research on all that. And so that was definitely a crazy time. We've had fires pop up in the hot climate, dry, a lot of dry vegetation. We've had them all the years I've been here. Um, and there's been crazy wind and rainstorms too. I've had some of those experiences. Um, and yeah, I think those are good answers for right now.
Okay. Yeah. I definitely hear that. It's so scary to be in a position where the place that you at is on fire or anything
Mm,
like that. So that's really crazy.
yeah,
Okay. So you started back posting in July of last year, but prior to that, you hadn't posted for 4 years. What happened in that time period?
sure, sure. Let's see. So that was okay. So I just really got going big in, like you said, July. I actually was just starting to mess with the channel a little bit and try to make some of my old videos presentable. And I ended up doing a 30-day video challenge around that July,
Mm-hmm.
August, or whatnot. And I just found that somehow I found 30-day video. I found people doing that, and I am making all the connections with other 30-day video challengers, and I just committed to posting a video each day. And it was really a good experience, and I learned. I got the training wheels per se of YouTube and video content creation and all that, and during that period. And the commitment, the persistence to the dedication to being consistent. And, so the before that, there just really wasn't any reason for me to do anything on YouTube for those months. A little while back, actually, um, when I had the channel like started up and everything, I was probably in that spiritual consciousness kind of
Mm-hmm.
traveling, and there was things for me to video. Like I got a video of like musicians when I was in Ojai, California. We produced a co-produced a festival called the One Love Experience
Mhm.
for a few years there. So I was connecting with local musicians and I was getting footage of them and promoting them while I was connecting with all of them. And so that was kind of fun. And I got a video up of one of those musicians that got a few thousand views. And I got some videos back then, like, oh, when I was doing the Change the World projects, the group of us on the land in Eugene, Oregon, we would live stream to all of our channels, like everybody that was on the land there, plus everybody in our hundreds or thousands of us that were networked together in that micronation we were building. We opened up our channels to allow the live stream to flow through all of our channels simultaneously. So like, so I was there at the land and opened up my channel, the source,
Mhm.
and we would do our live shows from the land there to our whole community and to anybody out there that's interested and tuning in. So we got some pretty good traction. I think hundreds of views, maybe in the thousands sometimes on some of those videos, because we were just blasting all of our different social media. Like every single one of us was just blasting it out there. So it's interesting. Just today, I got a notification just today that said I've passed 3,000 watch hours, but
Okay.
I've passed 3,000 watch hours in 15 years. So I looked at all the videos in those early years. I actually had like I think I got over 1,000 watch hours in that when I was doing those videos when I was with the Conscious Micronation and everything. Like we were posting video shows like every day, and it was pretty good. So I actually did pass like 1,000 watch hours during that stretch, during that season per se. But I didn't know that. I didn't know what that even meant back then. So,
Right.
like, this just from August to now has been real and consistent. And so, yeah, there was some success back there, but I didn't click quite yet. And then being a free spirit and traveling so much, there was no groundedness to do anything. And then just of late, I've really got it dialed in. So,
Okay. I'm feeling that. Okay. So the next question that I have for you here is, if you had the opportunity to be immortal, would you take it? Why or why not?
immortal. Would I take the opportunity to be immortal? Why or why not? Um, yes.
You
Um,
would?
yeah, sure, absolutely. Um, immortality. Why or why not? I don't know. That's kind of how I am. I'm really expansive. I do think there's a certain aspect of who we are that is immortal. But then I'm basically saying that physically, if I could maintain the body and the health and stay young and these ravishing good looks. Oh, geez, I'm too funny. So if I had the opportunity to stay young and healthy and to be immortal, I'm not going to tune into who would be there still and if they're also going to be immortal or not, and are they going to have health and body and all that. I'm not even going to go there. It opens up my imagination, like what would the reality be like, and it would be interesting for sure to be immortal as long as I had body and health, and then maybe there's something to not having the body and being immortal, and maybe that could be fun too, being spirit and just flying around like an orb, and just I'm watching. Yeah, I'm creepy. That's creepy. I'm over here like checking in on Nemo, and hey, what's
Mhm.
Kiss Jay doing over there? And I'm like, oh, so ravishing. What you doing? Oh, carpool line, fun. This is sweet. Like,
You're so
or
funny.
I'm about to go into Lashana Success Systems 1,000 plus content creator community, and I'm about to be like, "Hey, everybody! I'm right here behind Luciana's ear. Hey, all! Do you see this orb? Check me out, everybody! I'm doing the dance like behind Luciana, and like, hey,
You're so
I'm
funny.
Sharita Jones. I'm like, it's hard out here for a town. I'm like just humming. tones into people's ears and flying around the universe, and I don't know, it's just fun.
I feel it. Okay. So the next question that I have for you here is, what advice would you give a small YouTuber that is trying to grow their own community?
Small YouTube creator trying to build their community. Um, like I said earlier, just get started. Just start posting and find some consistency, and get involved, like come into the different lives of everybody you're connecting with in the community, and just support the others, and they'll come and support you, and it'll start to build. And as you start getting some traction, some subscribers, and you start getting people showing up regularly to your content, and supporting you, and at some point you'll get a message that'll say, like, you know, a name of some potential names for a community, like I went
Mhm.
into with Blissfully Renee, like I'm in her live, and I'm just like, I'm like, what's up, Bliss Fam Club? Like family, like Bliss Fam Club. Like, and I'm like, or whatever, I like how Boogie Time did it. Like Boogie Time had a whole video or live or a space for everybody to kind of brainstorm and share ideas, and I think that's how she did it. And then she comes back
Yeah.
with her selection, and like, hey, this is official. This is the
Hmm.
Shaq family,
I
and
thought about doing that too.
yeah,
Hmm.
yep.
Yeah, because
The
I would
kids
love to come up with a name for my like subscribers.
the Kiss Collective.
Hmm.
It could be anything.
The Kids Collective.
Put out a poll or
Hmm.
do a video opening up the idea flow. Put out a poll or do a
I know,
video
right?
alive, with the whole intention of live is for everyone to come together around me and just give me ideas. So,
Hmm. Okay. So the next question that I have for you here is, if you didn't move to Hawaii, where would you have went?
um, well, at that point, like I said, we were on the road in my partner's car, up the coast a little bit. We're going up towards Sebastopol, California, kind of up that way. North of LA, but not as high as San Fran. And the car was starting to not want to go further. And my partner, she was getting messages, maybe we shouldn't go much further here. And so it became real in that moment. Like, I couldn't necessarily go back to where I was. And I was like, I didn't have a home at that point. So I had made good connections, but when on a day's notice, you don't always have a lot of different tracks to go on, of where to go and where to stay and all that. So I had a list of, like, there was somebody in our area, in the Ojai area, or somewhere on my route, that in that direction, that was leaving. They actually were leaving. They were leaving, yeah, somewhere in California, and they were going up to Oregon to set up again. So there was that potential of, like, I just helped them clear out their was it CBD? No, essential oils. I was helping them clear out their old essential oils business location in somewhere in California, and um, they were about to get in their vehicles and take all their stuff and go up to Oregon and set up in, I think, Ashland. So I was like, I made some good connections with them. Maybe I can hop in the vehicles with them and relocate up to Oregon, and then help them with their essential oil business. And there were some people I knew up there.
Mhm.
So it was like one track, but it wasn't so dialed in. And then the other track, like, the Maui track was the biggest track that was presented to me. The other ones weren't dialed in. Like, I could try to find events where some of my tribe were all coming together, and go to them, and then try to hitch a ride with them to the next village or event or whatever. There was always that, like, free spirited, like, energy, want to do that. Um, but that Hawaii call was already, for years, was calling me. and
Mm.
to have a connection already on the land and community and doing work trade.
Right.
And even though they didn't have a spot open for me, I just felt the trust and the guidance and the faith to just fly over. And like luckily they picked me up and brought me to the land, to community. And then that evening, it was December 30th evening, made really good connections and in that community. And the next day we did a I helped them with the New Year's Eve celebration at another community, and I helped hang his art, his beautiful
Mm.
sculptures from the chandeliers, and I helped, they performed, they had like food for the community there, and I helped them serve out drinks and food, and I made a lot of connections there. So it was like from that day to the next day, it just things were already moving in a good direction, and they opened up a place for me to live, like not my first night there, my second night. I stayed in their like meditation center thing the first night
Mhm.
on the floor, and then I trusted and had faith, and then my friend was, he got the guidance to go ahead and go on to an event he wanted to go to and open up his space for me. So we, in a way, we forced, between him and I, we forced me into there and like grounded in, and then I just held on strong and did a good job. So was
Yeah.
that the
I
was that
feel
the
that.
question?
Okay.
Was that the question? I don't remember what the question was.
The question was, if you didn't go to Hawaii, where would you have went?
Okay. Okay, good.
But you kind of got into the midst of it, but you didn't say where you would go though.
Where I would go. Well, that Oregon track was kind of interesting to me, because I hadn't done a lot in Oregon. I'd just been on the land in that one community for those couple months or whatnot. So that would have been an interesting business relationship if I would have got a job with the essential oil company, and I knew someone that had a house there that was allowing people to stay. So it could have worked that, to stay somewhere, and could have all worked out. But this is what happened. So
Yeah. And I feel like you're really satisfied with what happened, and it's all about you being happy. So that's what matters.
absolutely.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for being here in the live. This is 20 Questions with Jay, and I am here with the source. Please make sure to go and subscribe and check out his content, okay? So, this next question that I have for you is your last question.
Oh no, I gotta get some
So, this
swag.
question is, what was that?
I gotta get some swag in real quick though. Oh, one more.
Oh, snap.
Oh no,
Oh, snap.
it's
Okay.
it's stuck. Oh yeah, and I just picked this up too.
You are so funny. I remember seeing you having that on in your video. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh my God. This isn't how it's supposed to look, but it kind of looks kind of fun actually with the stuck on there. And then I got my moo hat. You can't forget the moo, the cow. Oh my goodness.
Oh. Oh, you are hilarious. I love that you have such like a free spirit. What is your sign?
Yeah.
What's your zodiac sign?
Scorpio.
Really? I would have never imagined that you was a Scorpio. That is so
No.
wild to me. Yeah. You give
Yeah.
like either a Libra or an Aquarius or something, but Scorpio, okay. Do
Well,
you know your sun and your rising? Not your
um,
sun.
my
Do you know your moon and your rising?
astrologer is resting, so I don't have that answer handy at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and get into this question for you. So, this question here is, if you was lost at sea for 6 months, what would you do to survive?
It's funny you said Lost at Sea, because we're watching Lost right now, and they literally just, I don't know if that came through. Oh no, it was actually my partner. She was listening to an astrologer yesterday, and Lost at Sea was the topic of that live stream or video she put out, the woman put out yesterday. So it's kind of
Oh,
interesting
wow.
because basically in the sovereignty kind of movement and ideas, um, the we are lost at sea, because supposedly, um, we're in maritime law, and a lot of the laws that we are all operating by are like we are born in, and there's this like social security number and this birth certificate and all that. Supposedly the birth certificate is like a maritime law like certificate, bill of lading or something, and puts you into the legal systems of this location we're in. And social security number, it's like social security number is like a way of like basically each one of us was valued at our birth according to the family the status of the
Yeah.
we grew up in, we were born into. So like maybe each one of us worth $1 million in our lifetime.
Mhm.
They try to figure out what you'll earn in a life. So maybe $1 million each one of us. So it's kind of interesting the whole lost at sea, because like if we're
Mhm.
all unconscious of all this, and we're all living in such a reality that we believe everything to be real, that
Mhm.
this sorts of concepts. But your question, so if I'm lost at sea for 6 months,
Mhm.
can you repeat it? I'm sorry, I just go off on my own tangent.
Yeah, no, you're fine. If you was lost at sea for 6 months, what would you do to survive?
Lost at sea for 6 months, what would I do to survive? So hopefully I'm on like a boat, or something, and not like on like
Yeah,
sort of life
you could
raft
be in the boat.
degree. Um,
Mhm.
Lost at sea for 6 months on a boat. Hopefully I have some food, and water and such, and um, so I guess that's what you got to do is you got to make sure you have food. So you got to figure out how to fish, and
Mhm.
water. Like water, I guess you can't really drink all that ocean water. So that's the challenge. And then you
Mhm.
gotta have some sort of shelter too. So you got to think about like the sun and it pelting down on you. So try
Mhm.
to create a little bit of shelter and shade. Um, and yeah, so first is just making sure you're safe and look around you, see who else is with you, see if make sure they're safe. Think about food, water, shelter. Make sure that people, everybody is like mentally okay, because you might be in a disaster situation. Um, if anybody is in that mental state, it could be great danger for everybody else. So
Mhm.
tune into everybody's kind of mental state, and and I don't know like what direction the water's taking you. Like hopefully there's a potential of going in a direction. I don't know if we have any tools to move us better towards any direction. If we have a compass or not, it'd be great to somebody in the group maybe knows which direction to go to get to land. Um, and Yeah, so I'm kind of focused on it's kind of like living on the land, same thing. Like make sure each person has food, water, shelter, mental like
Mhm.
state, like well-being, um, basic needs met, make sure everyone's okay. And then what direction are we headed? Can we get saved? Is there any communication devices that we have? Can we reach out and get saved that way? Or any direction we can go to get saved? Do we have a flare? Do we have any ability to make ourselves seen better? Bright colored, anything like set up a display for anything flying over, or any other boats to see us. If we have lights, make sure we get ready to shine them out or flare out. Or it's good. We're watching Lost, the show, so I'm kind of in that mindset of this exact thing. Yeah, that's kind of the mindset, is to try to get saved, but make sure at first we focus on ourselves and the people around us, make sure everybody's basic needs are taken care of. And then we work together to go in a direction of how can we make sure we can possibly survive this. And that's that.
Mm-hmm. So Queen wanted to say, what if you were there by yourself?
Okay. So by myself, thank you, Queen. Um, by myself, same sort of mindset. Make sure that I have food, water, shelter from the elements as best as possible. And there's also like wind and elements that could come at you too, wind and rains, and so there's other elements too to make sure you're safe and you don't catch like a hypothermia or some sort of pneumonia or something. Um, and and then figure out if you have anything like electronics to reach out or like flares or anything like lights that you can make it colorful and make your whole show up to overhead or a boat's coming from the side or whatever. And then I don't know if I have compass. I wouldn't know which direction to go probably for getting land, but maybe I was lost from somewhere nearby and I could redirect towards it. I don't really know, but that's kind of the mindset. Make sure basic needs. I'm safe. I'm healthy, and then what tools do I have, and what direction to go, and um, maybe it's just stay there in the ocean and have my tools ready and save my energy. And maybe there's no paddling, no way to go in any direction, and maybe it's just that, just tools ready to whatever when something happens, if a plane flies over, if a helicopter flies over, if a boat's nearby, if anything like that happens, what tools do I have? How can I get my voice out there loud enough, or how can I make a noise loud enough, or be loud enough with colors and imagery to get the attention of help? Because maybe it's better just you might just need to just surrender and let the ocean take you too.
Yeah, I definitely feel it. Okay. So Candy K had asked for your handle, your YouTube handle.
Sure. So it's the source. So it's source SOURCE 479. So the number 479. So the source 479.
Hmm. Okay. Well,
Cool.
thank you guys so much for being here on the live. This is 20 Questions with Jay, and I'm here with the source. Please make sure to go and subscribe to his channel, you guys, and check out his content, okay? So
Yeah.
before we close out, did you have anything that you wanted to say?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kiss from Jay. You are a phenomenal host, and this is an awesome show. And I've got 5 questions. You just went up, outdid me with the 20.
You're
But
so
I,
funny.
I came back at you though when I had you as a guest. I said, I'll take your 20 and I'm going to create a rapid fire. I'll add to it and do
Hmm.
my own little fun feature. So,
Right.
um, I just appreciate this opportunity. I'm looking forward to connecting with everybody out there that's tuning in
Hmm.
here or later tuning in. And yeah, sub me up, and I'll come back over, sub you up. I've been really learning a lot that we need to, when we subscribe to somebody, watch their video through to the end,
Hmm.
so that like when you subscribe, if you don't watch their video through to the end, there's like a window of time where and then the person that you subscribe to, they probably will come and subscribe to you, and they'll watch your video to the end. So if that happens on both sides, that's a qualified subscriber. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I'm getting this kind of message from a lot of people. So I just encourage
Hmm.
that we all like the Filipino community, they've got 50,000, 100,000 subscribers, big channels. They do things a certain way, so we need to learn from them, and just try to make our subs count. So I look forward to all of you connecting, and I'll be coming over there and subscribing and watching your video, and we'll just keep building our connection. And I've got 5 questions with the source every Saturday. I've got Black History Month right now, so Boogie Time's coming up, and
Hmm.
Anthony My Time's coming up, and I Cherish Church is coming up. So I don't know what more to say. It's been awesome. Thank you so much and appreciate it.
Yes, you're so welcome. Thank all of you for being here in the live. I appreciate you guys spending your time with us today. And for everyone that's going to be watching the replay, I appreciate you watching. Please make sure to leave a comment and go over to the source and subscribe, okay? So, you guys, this is the end of the live. I hope you guys have enjoyed your time here. Thank you so much for being with us. Have a good night, you guys.
Child. Aloha
Bye.
much.